Hi everyone, and we are on the series where I'm talking to awesome ladies who are sharing their heart. And today we have Sandy, and Sandy, welcome here. Welcome to our show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
We have all the ladies who walked on the spiritual path somehow, and you have to do that as well. Today we have Sandy, and she's going to introduce herself, and we will be talking more about how she started and everything. So stay tuned till the end. Hi, Sandy. I would love you to introduce yourself to the viewers.
Okay, my name is Sandy Pradas, and I am definitely on this spiritual path, always seeking, always a student, but I'm also a teacher. I teach yoga, I'm a Reiki master, a yoga therapist, and I do all kinds of things. And this is the most important thing to me. I'm also a face yoga teacher, which is a new offering that has actually kind of came. It's also a spiritual offering that has helped a lot of people. So I'm really happy to be here and figure out what we're going to talk about and hope that we can help others.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. I'm also a Reiki grandmaster, so I can tune up with you. Okay. So let me know, Sandy, how you started on your spiritual journey.
I always had a spiritual bent as even from a child. So I I remember just always being very interested. My dad had a lot of religious books, and I would kind of flip through them and things. And one day when I was 7 years old, I was pretending to be a school teacher, and I had a little chalkboard I was writing on. And I heard a voice, a man's voice that was like coming from inside, but not me, that said, "You're supposed to help people spiritually." And I was, pretty surprised. And I didn't tell my parents, I didn't say anything because I didn't know how that would be received. And then I heard that voice a few more times during my life.
Mm.
So at that time, the only thing I knew, the only outlet that I was aware of that was spiritual was the church that my parents took me to. So we were Lutheran, and we went to this Lutheran church. So I would go, and I was just always kind of looking like, where am I going to fit in? What am I going to have to do here? And I never found that. And I kept going, and probably one time in my like mid to late 20s, I was in church, and we were repeating something, and I just saw myself that I was just mindlessly repeating it. I could have said it in my sleep. And I thought, does God like this? Does he like people just repeating this stuff, even though it probably doesn't mean anything to them? And I went home, and it was the first time I ever meditated, but I didn't know I was meditating. I asked the question. I was like, God, do you care if I go to church? Is it important to you? And I just sat and listened, and I heard the answer, no. And then I didn't know what to do with that. And I started reading some other books and having a more, experiential experience of spirit, and more meditating and watching. And I started having all these really interesting experiences. And it was
Mhm.
still very much like sort of like on like I would say, a metaphysical Christian kind of path, right? And then later, I went through a really rough time. I got divorced, and I just pretty much lost my energy, lost my personality. And I had a son, and I would do everything I needed to do my work, take care of my son, and get through the day. And then after he went to bed at night, I would take a bath and just like cry and fall apart. And I felt awful. I really understood for the first time why people said they feel empty inside, those kind of things. It was a terrible feeling. I'd never felt that before. And I was trying to pray, and it was like the words were just rattling around in my hollow shell. And at the same time, yoga in the United States was really taking off. I was reading, everybody was saying, oh, I do yoga. So I said, well, I'm going to have to try this. And my sister lent me a videotape, and I did it in my basement. And I felt so good after that one time. And it was hard. And I was an athletic person before, but I remember just like shaking, my muscles shaking, standing in these awkward positions. And I thought, well, I want to feel good again tomorrow, so I'm going to keep doing it. And that just opened this whole new way of being a spiritual person and connecting spiritually and to spirit, to other people. And it just led me down this whole different path. And I remembered that voice when I was 7, and I said, this is what they were talking about.
Yes,
So,
that's
this is
true.
great.
For so many, actually, whenever you search the word spirituality, there is so much about Christianity coming up on all over the internet, that I used to think that how can I differentiate spirituality and Christianity is a religion, actually. Going
Mhm.
church, going to temples or mosques, everything is religion, but there is a part in every religion that leads us to spirituality. What do you think about that?
Yeah, you're right. You are right. And it should. But I feel like so many times the man-made rules and the people, they make it can be hard to find it. Like it
Mhm.
should be a lot easier to actually to get that spiritual path in religion, but I think it's a little more difficult. But yeah, I think everybody is seeking something. I think just naturally you're seeking, and that's kind of the place to go. And often that's where your parents are taking you.
Hmm.
So you're going there, and you know,
Learning
and I
things.
think some religions are more amenable to that spiritual path too. Some more so than others.
Hmm.
Some are very hardline and
The form of religion right now, I did a video on YouTube only about religion versus spirituality, my views about how what I think. And for me, spirituality is connecting to your own self, to your soul, and refine it. That's all. Nothing big, nothing else. And when I heard you that you used to go to church and feel that where would I fit in this church later on as I would grow, have you ever felt the energies, or have you ever saw Jesus or God in a different way?
Yes, I think I feel since I learned this other way to access spirit, yes, I probably feel more connected to Jesus than when I went to church all those years, actually, because I feel like I can actually connect,
Hmm.
to like um instead of this little tiny pathway to connect, it's like big now.
Yeah, true, true. So, as you said that you heard that voice at the age of 7, had it ever happened after that that you got that nudge, go, you have to do this, you have to do that? Have you heard those voices or inner voice ever later until you started on?
Yeah, I think that like part of my path is that I do sometimes and see and hear things in meditation, mostly. Um, so yeah, I would say I kind of try to stay open, and I follow follow a path.
Hmm.
Um, that particular voice, so I heard that a few times in my life. You're supposed to help people spiritually, and I took that to mean I'm not there yet. That I'm still finding that way. And then you know once I started to teach yoga and stuff, I knew I was on that right path for
Hmm.
me. I think everybody has their own path, and you'll find it. and I think it's important to be sort of open to find that, you might, if you're really sure it's going to be this way, you might be surprised. I think,
Yeah.
I think we can all find it, but you have to be open. And sometimes it takes time, sometimes you can be seeking for that thing a long time, and then boom, it'll hit you.
That's true. I have been thinking, like, I always, when I started on my journey, I always used to think, why didn't I had a mentor who could say, okay, you are feeling this, go on to this path, or do this, or do that. Do you feel that we need to uh, create something or bring this knowledge that we have more into the word, so that children who just like you at 7 years of age, if you had that feeling that I have to tell someone, I can tell my parents or someone, and it might take me onto a new path. Do you think that it should be done at now, at this era?
Yeah, well, I think the more people talking about it and putting it out there is definitely a good thing. And then,
Hmm.
and people find, they're attracted to what they need. They'll find the right person or hear the right thing. Like sometimes, how you see quotes and you hear things all the time, but every now and then there's that something that really clicks with you. And the
Hmm.
more that people are talking about this and putting their stories out,
Yeah.
uh, that's just more good stuff for somebody to find that where something might click with them and put them
Hmm.
on the right path.
Yeah. Do you have how do you spread your words?
In my yoga classes, I try to just encourage, like, especially right now, what is on my mind when I'm teaching is I'm just trying to constantly get them to let go of stuff. How we collect things during the day, during the week, and it sticks to us and it gets in our way and we hold on to it. So I'm just always trying to provide the opportunity to let go. So when I
Mhm.
teach yoga, I really want people to be inside. Like, I encourage them to keep their eyes closed. I want them to be inside and feel everything from the inside out and have that different experience. So I want them to let go of things and get out of their mind, like to keep, checking in, is your mind where you are, just bring it back to your breath and things like that. Because I think the more time we spend inside, focused inside, and especially if you can do it for a sustained amount of time, you're gonna feel that, at some point
Hmm.
you're gonna say, hey, there's something going on in there that I didn't really recognize before or didn't
Hmm.
hear or see. And I think that also leads to like a possibility of a good meditation at the end of, when you meditate. I mean, that's
I was
that's
about to say that you are talking about mixing meditation and yoga.
yeah, well, yes, because I kind of think of my yoga classes as a meditation in motion. Like,
Hmm.
you're getting, you're preparing to have a very quiet mind and the possibility of, you know
Wow.
an experience or no, a message, no, or recognizing something you need to know in that moment.
Hmm. I feel like cool breeze around me as you were talking about this. This is nice, and I can feel that I actually saw or visualized when you were talking about it, as though people are flowing into water more easily. That is awesome, because that will open up not only your body and your mind as well, right? That's so beautiful. So I ask you that if you meet someone who is just starting, no matter what their age is, they are just starting onto the spiritual journey, where they hear this inner voice and they are just ignoring it or something, anything. what is your biggest advice that you want to leave with them?
Don't ignore that inner voice. That's the most important voice you're going to hear.
Me too.
Spend more time with that inner voice, and do whatever you have to do, however you can get yourself to be still and quiet so you can hear that. It's going to change your life and make it so much better.
Hmm. Okay, that brings me a new question, because when you are saying I got that question, what about those who say I don't have time for meditation, I can't do it, it is too difficult, or these kind of all the um, questions or blockages, whatever you want to say? What do you have to say to them?
Oh, that the one when people say they don't have time, I don't ever believe it. And people do say that a lot. You have time. You have time. Think of all the things you're doing during the day that are, are you watching TV? Are you just daydreaming? Or, I mean, you have time there to meditate. You can find 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. It's not true that you don't have time. It sounds kind of mean, but
No, no, no. Even I say the same thing. That's why I was laughing and saying, like, I used to say this. Uh, during this series or during these interviews, I realized that whatever I am saying, everyone is backing something that up, and that is a great thing to whoever is watching this anytime, uh, in any year or whatever. They would know that whatever we had gone through, we are just giving you. You are open to connect to us, any one of us, and work with us, because that bends up the time, that fasten up your process. I always say that I scan the energies of my clients and I speedify your spiritual journey. That's that's my tagline actually. We all are just finding ways not to do the most important thing. And what do you think is the first step should be taken? Like, I say meditation is the first step. What do you think is?
I really think it depends on the person and their energy and where they
Hmm.
are. I think for some people it would be hard to just sit down and meditate, because if they have a really active mind,
Hmm.
and or they can't sit still. I feel like yoga helps them to get still, and then they
Hmm.
can meditate. Other people, it might be that they need a Reiki session. I've done Reiki on people who've, never experienced anything like that. And then they start thinking, there is something going on. Or I really think it
Hmm.
just depends on the person.
Hmm.
Um, but I think meditation is really like where it happens, where it's at. And that can also be like Reiki is a form of a person
Hmm.
kind of being in a meditative state, but you're helping that, helping them.
Hmm.
But I feel like that's where you're learning and seeing and finding you're in touch with that spirit, that other thing that you haven't been aware of before, that you've been too
Hmm.
busy to hear or see.
Yeah, that's true. So we have, yes, that's beautiful that we have to understand our energies. She has a great point when you can't stay still. Meditation can be done in a different form, like yoga, as she said. And yeah, that's a kind of exercising, is a kind of meditative state, but you have to silent your mind. If you are exercising and saying, oh, I have to do that, I have to do that, I have to do this, that is not going to help you, right? What do you think about
Right.
that?
Oh, I agree. Yeah, because some people will say that, oh, well, I always feel good after I go for a run or something like that.
Hmm.
But yeah, if your mind is just churning, that's just sort of endorphins or something, and then they're going to go away. But yeah, it's
Hmm.
not the same. And and people will do things in front of the TV. Like if you're doing yoga in front of the TV, you're not you're not going to get
Mm,
all those benefits, the emotional, mental health benefits and the
mm,
spiritual benefits. You have to. Well, actually, this is so funny because before I talked to you, I was meditating and thinking about, okay, what can I talk about? And one thing that keeps popping up for me lately is do only one thing at a time. Whenever you can, please stop multitasking, because
mm,
your mind is just too busy, and then we're not paying attention. We're going through life barely even
mm,
noticing what's happening. We're not getting the gifts and the beauty and all that stuff. So whenever possible, do one thing at a time and really pay attention to what you're doing, and that is a spiritual act. Things will start changing for you
mm.
if you pay attention to what you're doing.
Exactly, exactly. The way we are living, we are running, just running and running, 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 and nothing else. And it is so hard for us to pause, to relax. And I realized when you were saying this thing that we need to do only one thing at a time, we should do only one thing at a time. I realized that years ago I was so hyperactive. I used to do this thing, that thing, talking on phone, everything in between, juggling everything together. And now as I'm working, slowing myself down, in past 4 years since I left my ex, I realized that I am more relaxed. I let go of all the things that I needed to do, and I'm so what should I say? Not silent, but actually so relaxed that when someone asks me to do a few things together, I say, relax, it will be done. After a few minutes or after a few hours, I will do it, but relax. It brings so much peace within. What do you think?
I agree, and I want to ask you a question. So since you're like this,
Hmm.
if when that person, if people are kind of like trying to get you to hurry up or do more and think, how does that make you feel? Do you get rattled or
Yes.
uh,
Actually, it at the initial stage, I feel like why are they pushing me to do what I don't want to do? But then I have to calm myself down and relax and then tell them that yes, I will do that work, but after some time. What I am doing, I need to do that, and then I will do that for sure. Most of the times, I sometimes forget some things, but then whenever I realize that I forgot something, I do that at that time. But the thing is
yeah.
done.
Yeah, it gets me a little. It rattles me because I like to be calm and
Yeah.
peaceful, and I can just do my like. I've never looked like I'm in a hurry, but I'm efficient,
Hmm.
and I think sometimes it makes people nervous if I seem to be doing something slowly, and they'll like try to hurry me up or rush me, and it just rattles me. Yeah, I don't like.
Hmm. Because we are just like a lake, and someone hit that stone in that silent lake, and think of that, all those ripples. It happens.
Yeah, it
We are.
disturbs our force.
We reach to a level where we are as placid as that lake, and then someone hit that stone. Oh no, I can't think of that.
Yeah, and that's kind of the tricky thing about, because you'll think, okay, I'm a spiritual person, I have all these tools to cope with things, but you
Hmm.
still get upset with people
Yeah.
sometimes, and
People
you
ask
know,
me the same thing as you were saying. People will say that you are so spiritual. How can you get angry? How can you be so shouty or whatever?
yeah,
It happens.
yeah, we're human.
Exactly. Spiritual or religious, we are humans and we have to go through all those emotions, no matter what.
Right. Yes.
That is awesome. Is there anything that you want to leave for our viewers?
Um, I please. try to quiet your mind so you can be aware of the other stuff trying to come in. There's all this beautiful, great stuff. We're all connected.
Hmm.
And the way you're going to find that out is if you can quiet your mind. I like to use breath to help, quiet the mind or focus, but however you can do it.
Hmm.
And if you're feeling that calling, go there. Go on that path. Don't
Hmm.
make excuses. Just go and find out what's waiting for you.
Exactly. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Find someone who had been through all of this and who can help you. Talk to them, and your energies will take you to the right person.
Right.
Not me, not her, not anyone who talked on this series, but anyone that resonates with your energy, you will want to watch them again and again and again, and go to them, ask them for help. That is going to just fasten up all your struggles. They can help you when you have a pause point where you are not able to see what is ahead. That is really going to help you. What do you think? Isn't it
I,
the right thing?
yes, yes, it's perfect. Yes.
We
Very good.
all
It's been
want
so
you.
fun talking to you.
Yeah, that's true. I love that we are talking to bring in that energy so that people can understand that this is the right time. Since the COVID hit in 2020, I have been talking about energies and the changes in energies. As I'm getting all those updates, I am telling you, everyone on my YouTube channel, everywhere, that energies are changing and we have to work on this path. So, why not today? Start today. Go on.
Yes,
It
it's
was.
been such a hard time for
Mm,
people. These have been really tough years.
mm,
And you can see that I was really hoping that everybody would become a better people and get together, but it hasn't really turned out that way for a lot of people. It's been the opposite. So,
mm.
for everybody, we need people that want to do good in the world and be good and be loving, caring, help each other, kind, and we need all of those people to get
Yeah.
on board.
COVID taught us a new thing, that we have to be with each other. If I am not wrong, I think that
Yes.
we need to help each other no matter what we are going through. If we can help someone, it is always good to do that.
Yes, and you're going to feel good if you can help someone else. It sparks something
Yeah,
in you. You get a benefit too.
exactly. It's always a infinity sign. Whatever goes out comes in back, and that will
Right.
help you. So it was so nice talking to Sandy, and let me know how you feel watching these videos one after another, and how do you feel. Comment below with all your questions and whatever you feel to ask. If you won't ask, you will never get the answers, you will never up level. Up level. So thank you so much, Sandy, for being here, and
Thank
I would
you.
love to connect back whenever we can, whenever the energies wants us to be.
Yes, I would love to. This was really fun. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. And bye, everyone. Live in light. Bye, Sandy. Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye,
Live in
everyone.
light.